Hi, my name's Angus. I'm 11 years old and you're watching Angus Investigates. My guest today is Tilly Mastroianni. She lives in Surrey and works at the Centre for Personalised Medicine in Rett Syndrome, also known as CPMRS. So Tilly, for the people who don't know, can you tell us about the new CPMRS Centre and how it helps kids and adults with Rett Syndrome?
Yep, so at the CPMRS, we assess and we treat people with Rett syndrome with all ages. They come to us from lots of different places, lots of different sort of doctors or self-referrals, or through reverse Rett as well. So our kind of expertise lies in sort of the emotional and behavioural aspects of Rett syndrome, but we like to look at our patients as a whole. So we look at kind of every aspect of their symptoms and things like that, which I think is quite different in our approach. And although we might not be able to treat everything, we work closely with sort of other doctors like neurologists and things like that to make sure that they get the best treatment we can. And we offer kind of sort of parental support and family support as well. And we do a lot of research, so we do a lot of clinical trials and things like that to make sure that they get the best care that they can.
What is your role at CPMRS, and have you met many children with Rett syndrome?
Yeah, so I've met loads of children and adults with Rett syndrome, probably about 75 and counting. So my role is I'm an assistant psychologist, so I mainly help out with the sort of parental support and the family support. I also do a lot of talking to other professionals like teachers and social workers and people like that, to make sure that our patients are kind of supported in the best way that they can be. And then I also sort of help to coordinate the centre. So I sort of manage the referrals and I help with the clinical trials as well.
Have you been working at home since lockdown, and how different is it from when you were based at the clinic?
Yeah, so we've been working from home for over a year now, so since
Wow.
the first lockdown, all those months ago. And it was quite different at first, because obviously before, when our patients came in, we were able to do blood tests and ECGs and things. And obviously it was lovely to meet our people, like patients in person. But we adjusted well. For those sort of things, we just kind of get them done locally now. And, you know, we do things like this on Teams so that we can still see our patients. And yeah, I guess it's normal now to be doing it like this.
So I heard when you're not working, you like to bake. What is your favourite thing to make?
I do. My favourite thing to make is bread. That's a lockdown hobby. I'm very into bread now. But I also just learned to make croissants about a month ago. So wow, that's a new skill.
I've actually started making sourdough bread as well.
Oh, really? Me too.
Yeah.
Have you got a starter?
Yeah, I spent like, I actually died once, so I had to like restart it all over again, which took a while. I've never tried croissants. But they seem really hard to make.
They're not too bad. They're quite time consuming. You've got to do them over 2 days, but it's worth it because they're good in the end.
Do you have any like pets or other hobbies that you like to do?
So I don't have any pets living with me, but I have a very cute dog called Phoebe who lives with my parents. And my parents have a pet tortoise, so I grew up with a tortoise in the house, which is interesting. And sort of for other hobbies, so I run quite a lot. I've done quite a few half marathons, and I did a marathon a few years ago. And I like to swim and paint and do yoga and things like that.
Mm-hmm. And what are you looking forward to doing when the coronavirus is finished?
Oh, so many things, just normal things from before, like, you know, seeing my friends more, seeing my family more. Travel, I'm really missing being able to travel. And dare I say it, I'm almost missing my commute as much as I hated it while I did it. It's it's the little things I'm missing.
What's it like working with the families?
It's really interesting. So I'm sure, as you know, Rett syndrome is very different in each person. So it's really interesting seeing kind of the differences. And it's just really lovely. Obviously, it's kind of privileged to be so involved with their lives, and we sort of have our families for a very long time. We work very closely with them, so you really get to know them. And I really enjoy working with all of our families. It's just really lovely being involved with them.
Can you tell me a bit about like what a week would be like a normal week at the CPMRS Centre?
Yeah, so on a normal week, we'd usually do either 1 or 2 assessments. So that would involve me and one of our doctors. And then amongst that, we'd have a lot of reviews. So we'd see different patients sort of various times to review medication or, that kind of thing. On top of that, so I work with a couple of doctors in the centre. So they'd be calling their patients as well to monitor how they're doing. We do, when someone starts the medication, we do quite a lot of monitoring just after. So there's a lot of calls for that. And then other things could involve, writing letters. I write a lot of letters to kind of social workers or schools to help with different things being put in place. It could be letters to refer or to help with medication. So yeah, and then team meetings and things like that.
It's been really interesting to speak to you today, and thank you for taking up your time to speak to me.
Thank you.
And thank you so much for coming on the show.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you. I've enjoyed it.
No problem. Bye.
Bye.